Hey everybody, welcome to WCA Extra on this post-election Wednesday. Of course, big day today for a lot of, the country, of course, and a lot of state races in Vermont. No other better person to really talk about that than our Calvin Cutler, who I can probably assume did not get a lot of sleep last night. Calvin, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, John.
Great. And kind of diving right into it, one of the biggest races that we're still following right now and that we actually had both the candidates on this morning is the race for lieutenant governor. Right now that's John Rogers versus David Zuckerman there. And margin is still pretty small, too close to call, and Zuckerman has not conceded in that. But one of the kind of talking points, and I want to use this to kind of use up another launching off point, was that we spoke to John Rogers this morning. He said that really nothing else matters unless we can afford to live in a state like Vermont. And I think when you and I talked earlier, that is a largely a big messaging issue on either side of the aisle, and especially for the Democrats as well. Kind of just describe that, walk me through that here as we kind of pick up the pieces this morning.
Yeah, thanks, John. I agree. The issues about affordability, the economy, property taxes, and Vermonters' wallets and their ability to stay in their homes, their ability to pay the bills, really, I think, was the biggest motivating factor really for candidates up and down the ballot. I mean, the affordability and the issues that John Rogers raised on his campaign about overspending in his eyes from Democrats in Montpelier. That was really the bellwether race to take a look at. And yeah, as I said, up and down the ballot, from local House races to Senate races, affordability definitely was on the minds of many Vermonters. We're still sort of picking up the pieces and kind of examining where things landed in the House. As you know, for the past 2 years, Democrats and their progressive and independent allies have held a veto-proof supermajority with 23 seats in the Senate, about 104 in the House, and now we're still waiting on numbers from the House, but it's looking like the GOP picked up about 15 or 14 seats or so, bringing them over that 50-seat threshold. Also in the Senate, Democrats and progressives now have 17 seats. The GOP has 13 seats plus. So now it really the Democratic supermajority has been broken, so to speak, which was what Governor Phil Scott and John Rogers were trying to do all along.
Yeah.
As I said, there was concerns about affordability, property taxes, but also the money that was put into some of these down ballot races too can't be ignored. I mean, there was some of these Senate races as well. I'm thinking in Grand Isle, Colchester, up in Orleans County, up in Caledonia County. These state Senate races were gathering tens of thousands of dollars from wealthy business owners and landlords and others in the Chittenden County area. So it was a really fascinating dynamic that we saw. But I think the big takeaway, though, and we can maybe get more into this of what this means for policy and for the next biennium, but Democrats no longer hold a veto-proof supermajority, and they'll now have to negotiate with Republicans.
Right, and that kind of leads to my next point. I think I already know the answer really to this question is, do you think that has, to what, degree of impact that has moving forward? I know we've done a lot of course, reporting on, vetoing and Governor Scott kind of butting heads in that regard. So now you think this is a significant step in the other direction there.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be clear that the Democrats still hold majorities in the House and the Senate. So they're still, they're still going to be, by and large, calling a lot of sort of the policy shots, like what legislation is picked up and whatnot.
No, of course.
But can that legislation make it over the finish line? Can it get enough votes in committee? Some of these really smaller, nuanced policy discussions that happen throughout the legislative session, and as bills go through the sausage factory stage, so to speak. That's, I think, where we might see more changes and more concessions made to Republicans, to Governor Phil Scott, and especially for some of these really big issues as well. I'm thinking like the property tax education property taxes. I'm thinking, what is the state going to do about our ailing hospital system and hospital budgets, or upcoming deadlines for carbon reduction emissions under or carbon
Yeah.
excuse me, carbon emission reduction requirements under the Global Warming Solutions Act. What will that look like? And so, yeah, they'll have to go to the table and negotiate with Republicans in some of these cases to get legislation across the finish line.
No, absolutely. And I just want to go back really quickly again, because I have some notes here, again, from our conversation this morning with John Rogers. And he, obviously flipping the ticket from being a Democrat now running as a Republican. He said he wants to act as a bridge between the parties, and that's something that even when he had served in, previously in the state Senate, that he still wants something to do. Is that, I don't know, is that, I guess, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but.
Well, I think, one thing that I'm glad you brought up the point about John Rogers, and what I think was really interesting about him going from a, Democratic state lawmaker to running as a Republican. He really had concerns and decried the primary process, and about how money flows through politics, and about how and how candidates are incentivized either further on the candidates further on the right or further on the left. He really had concerns about, and we've heard this from others in the state and also nationally too, but that it really squeezes out voices of more moderate candidates, more centrist candidates. And so, now that we've seen sort of the pendulum swing back in the other direction, in a sense that we haven't seen in about a decade, was the last time we saw something like this happen in the state house back in 2014, also over school budget issues and property taxes, mind you. But that was one of John Rogers's big concerns, and one of his big reasons for running was to try to bring more moderation into politics, because just in 2022, 2 years ago, we saw really big gains for the House and the Senate. There was Congresswoman Becca Balint was elected over Molly Gray, who was seen as the more moderate pick. So really, Vermont's politics was a little bit further to the left, but now the pendulum, as I said, is starting to swing. So it's really interesting to start to unpack these results and to see, what are voters telling us. But at the same time, I should mention, they still gave Governor Phil Scott, his about 70% of the vote is what we're reading so far, but we also gave Vice President Kamala Harris 3 electoral votes for her bid for president. So it was really interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we touched on that on our morning show this morning, as well, as far as splitting the ticket there. But anyway, Calvin, I know you have probably yet another busy day ahead of you, and of course, for all of our races, we'll keep tracking them as well. But thanks for joining us, and I know you're in Montpelier already, so I'll let you go.
Thank you very much, John. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good one. Again, that was our Calvin Cutler there. Kind of just talking about, summing up some of the races around the state of Vermont as far as what the makeup of the State House looks like. That in mind, we will be moving on a little bit to the weather. I'm not the person to tell you about that, but meteorologist Peter Kavakakis is.
I am indeed, and you know what? Once again, a very mild start to our Wednesday out there.
Yeah.
Hard to believe that we should be talking daytime highs, upper 40s, lower 50s. As a matter of fact, we should have a daytime high in Burlington of 50 degrees today.
Yeah.
As of the 9 o'clock hour, 67 out there right now in Burlington. So just some unbelievable warmth and mild air in place, and we're going to keep that going once again here through the course of the day today. We'll take a look at those temperatures. As I mentioned, 67 right now in Burlington, and basically all of us hanging out in the 60s right now, and we'll talk daytime highs, mid to upper 60s, probably a few more lower 70s here as we head into the afternoon hours today. Satellite radar, though, showing a few rain showers in place, especially into New York's North Country, just starting to cross the lake and into the Champlain Valley here for some of us on the Vermont side of things, and we'll see a few rain showers here through the first half of the day today, but it does look a bit drier as we head into the second half of the day. This is a part of a cold front that's still off to the west for the most part. Again, you can still see a few rain showers off to the west, but it really does look like the rain shower intensity and the coverage diminishes a whole lot as we head into the early afternoon hours today. Here's how the day shapes up on Futurecast again. Here it is, 9 a.m. You can see some rain showers in place. Take a look by about noontime. Still hanging on to a few rain showers across central and southern portions of the area, but then we head to the rest of the afternoon and into the early evening hours today. I think we're going to talk a mixture of sunshine and clouds out there. Still a chance at a few spotty rain showers here and there, but for the most part, I think the bulk of the rain is through the first half of the day today. Into the night tonight, mostly cloudy skies prevail. That's how we kick off your day on Thursday, but we get a little bit more sunshine going here as we head towards tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Temperatures will be cooler though. Today we'll talk upper 60s, lower 70s out there. Again, you see that normal high at the top corner there, 50 degrees. Thursday and Friday, still not quite to where we should be for this time of year, but we are cooler, mid to upper 50s. Another cold front will actually come through the region Friday night and into the day on Saturday. That will knock down the temperatures a bit more here into the first half of the weekend. First layer forecast here through the rest of the day today. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, lower 70s, morning rain showers, giving way to a mixture of a little bit of sunshine and cloud cover here as we head towards later this afternoon. Tonight, overnight lows, they'll fall back into the 40s out there. Mostly cloudy skies overhead. Again, a mild night, but not quite the 50s and 60s that we woke up to this morning. Into your day on Thursday, we'll talk temperatures climbing back into the 50s here come tomorrow afternoon. Again, a bit more morning cloud cover, followed by a bit more sunshine here as we head into the afternoon hours here for your day on Thursday. Both Thursday and Friday looking to be pretty nice. We'll call it partly sunny days. Temperatures generally in the mid to upper 50s. Again, we do have that second cold front Friday night and into the day on Saturday. That drops a few more rain showers. That drops our temperatures by a bit as well. Saturday, most of us in the mid to upper 40s. Better chance at a few more rain showers once again here as we head towards Sunday and into the day on Monday, John.
Yeah, Peter, it's, again, just a balmy day out.
Yeah,
71 degrees.
Yeah.
It's what, November 5th?
It is
6th?
November 6th.
Yeah.
November 6th. And again, yeah, that's 10, 15, 20 degrees above where we should be.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we're very much enjoying the foliage now. I feel like we're back in late August.
Yeah, it's definitely should not feel like this way in November. Stick season out there, but feeling like basically early September.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. I think it does for us here on WCAX. Of course, you can see Peter and I on our noon show again. Of course, we'll have the most up-to-date election coverage for you then on our website as well. I think after this, I'll grab a cup of coffee and try to wake up again. But until then, we'll see you at noon.